and end of the year show as for MMA. That is no UFC events left, sadly. Um, but they're on their way, as in Enclave is Walker 2, somewhat patiently waiting for a fight. I don't know if you could say that. I mean, it was. I don't know if I could say Enclave. I mean, as in Walker was completely winning the fight, but so he was getting there. But yeah, looking forward to that. Then you had Dracus versus Sean Strickland, ladies and gentlemen. That one should be a hell of, as in number cards wise, pretty good kickoff or starter for the 24, ladies and gentlemen. With what Sean Strickland did to Dricus Duplessis back in the last number card we just had, the Edwards card, where he started punching him right in the face and all that, which was pretty crazy. I'm shocked that even happened and they did the whole sitting, which ended up being Dana White, saying he ended up doing that. Doleitze, it's been a long time since we've seen him or Emma Wolf. Other fights. Python, he's a showstopper. Hermanson, it's actually been a while too, to be honest. A lot of these fights already, the main guys actually are in the main cards. Who knows? Who knows if they even have? It's UFC, ladies and gentlemen. But I feel like this year a couple of these guys didn't fight as much. I don't know about Piper. Piper might be different. Um, then we go the card that for some reason I thought would end up being in Spain, but that didn't happen. So Volkanovski, Tiporia. I thought Alexander would actually take a couple time or a bit of time off, but he didn't. Then Moreno Albazi. This is actually a really good fight, to be honest. As in just all around. We'll see, or I think I'll see, or we'll see. Uh, Moreno's wrestling be tested with the Albazi's, but Albazi has shown that he can strike as well. Um, but yeah, that's a pretty good amount of good fights. I would hope the majority of these fights don't break off and they end up not happening, which would be a bummer. Which is what I hate a lot of times with these cards. They're like you look forward to it, they the build up, and then out of nowhere they're like, oh, it's off. Which obviously with injuries and stuff is common. Is common. Um, obviously, man, it's the title switches has been somewhat crazy. The only guy I believe that came into the year, to be honest, off the top of my head, I don't. Other than Edwards, was he title holder last year? I believe Edwards was a title holder last year. Islam was title holder last year. The funny thing is Pereira could have been, but he was in a obviously different division. I don't believe any of the Alexa Grasso might be John Jones also. Those are it maybes. Because John Jones, I believe, actually won heavyweight this year, and I believe Alexa Grasso beat what's her name this year, and then Islam with all the defenses, I'm sure. Then Alex, the rest, obviously one of these is a pound for pound ranking right there, and Islam finally got himself the pound for pound after he just wasn't happy with how it was. He beat Alexander Volkanovski, then still somehow. I think they actually put Islam on the pound for pound, and they took him off. I forget exactly how it happened. Couple other things that happened this year. Just a bunch of the majority of the stuff that happened at the beginning of the year. I always just totally end up forgetting, anyways, as most people do probably. Couple of losses just weren't fun seeing. Stephen Wonderboy, probably wanted to see him get a title shot. I did at least. He's getting about there, I guess, but he doesn't look it. Tony Ferguson does look it. Seeing him get, taken or just pretty much manhandled in a way by Patty the Batty. Josh Emmett doing what he did to Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell is just a really fun fighter to listen to. To be honest, he's one of those fighters like Kobe's like one of those fighters that's funny to listen to because he just talks a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, he also over the top shit sometimes. But Bryce Mitchell just randomly just talking about almost anything could probably make it seem interesting. Dude was building a house right after he got knocked out and all, so hopefully he has maybe take a year. I don't know about a year, but maybe close to a year. Sometimes maybe a year could give him some help. I don't believe Bryce is that old anyway, so then we had the Gary situation. Hopefully Gary can find himself out of the big hole he technically put himself. Mr. Machado, Sonya Down. He's one of them fighters I'm looking forward to this coming year. But to be honest, in a way, I'm not because he's in the bantamweight division and he's kind of climbed to the top, which means he's probably gonna fight once or twice. If he fights 3 times a year, which is kind of it's surprising or not surprising, more like in the shocker area. No, I can't even say it. It's just when you get to the top, it's harder to find fights, and you don't want to end up fighting a lot of people that are lower than you. But as you showed in the last fight, he's willing to do that, so maybe he does get that 3 fighter on. Anthony Smith, another one of them fighters. Like it's just obviously if you watch a show, you don't want to see him lose, no. But I don't know. He gets one, loses one, gets one, loses one. Let's look at some other events. One of the biggest ones, I would say, 2 of them actually happened in the same card. Bobby Green getting viciously knocked out, then Armand Sarukian also, or Armand taking out Benel Dariush. Which is the weird thing is these are all fighters you couldn't really hate. I mean, at least I didn't hate any of these fighters. These are fighters I actually usually I'm looking forward to watching their fights. So just seeing them lose in that fashion, uh, just wasn't fun. I'll tell you that. Davison Figueiredo, Mr. Figueiredo, bringing himself up into that the bantamweight division. Obviously, a big win with Rafa. We'll see how his year goes. Maybe it's busy since he's in a bantamweight. Probably gets another dub, gets a title shot. Who knows? Brendan Olon. Oh, that's the duck calling. Yeah, we're probably gonna call it here in a little bit. Miles Morales, the Spider-Man. Uh, Michael Morales. Looking forward to his year too. He's had a pretty good amount of fights. Jack Matthews is a pretty experienced fighter, but I believe I think he was 15 in the rankings. Get a little more, couple more fights, and then who knows? He'll probably. I mean, he's undefeated, and they just love undefeated fighters in this martial arts world we live in. And we'll see the future of Hiri, Alex Patan. I was trying to get his nickname out, Boatan. Uh, we'll see what his light heavyweight reign's gonna look like in the future. Um, then John Jones obviously is scheduled to come back this year. Um, then you got Tommy Ospinall, who can defend his title or his interim title maybe once, maybe twice. Who knows? With the heavyweight division, knock one out, knock another out, get yourself in books. But yeah, we'll see you folks in year 24. At least after one of these cards. At least one. All right. Sabotage out. Have a good MMA year, ladies and gentlemen, or a new beginning, or a beginning good year to be. Whatever. Just have a good next year, pretty much. Next year, have a good year.